Today I'm going to show you another great way to use your Breeze dehydrator at home. We're going to turn some brown onions into onion powder. Onion powder is super versatile. It's an instant concentrated boost of flavor and a perfect way to use up any extra onions before they start to perish. This is really easy to do. Let's get straight into it. So I've got 5 large brown onions here, and that should fill all 6 trays on the dehydrator. I'm going to use 3 of the silicone mats as well, just so I can put the smaller pieces of onion on there and they won't fall through the gaps. So all we need to do is peel and slice the onions about 4 millimeters thick. You can do this however you like. I'm going to cut them in half, and then I'm going to cut across the grain as if to make half onion rings. For loading up the trays, just separate the layers of the onion, place the bigger slices onto the normal racks, and use the mesh trays for any smaller pieces. You can have a slight overlap with the slices as well, just to make sure that you can get as many onions on there as possible. Once all of the trays are full, you can go ahead and load up the machine. You can put the lid back on, and we're going to set the machine at 70 degrees for 10 to 12 hours. It's really humid today. We've got a lot of rain here in Sydney. I'm going to set the machine to the full 12 hours because I know it might take a little longer. The onions have been on for 12 hours now, so let's take the lid off and have a look. What we're looking for is really dry and snappy onions. If they're still a little bit bendy or still have a bit of moisture left in them, then put the machine on for another couple of hours. So at this point, when they're all done, it's really up to you how you treat them next. We're going to turn ours into a powder using the Vibe blender, but you could turn them into flakes by just crushing them with your hands or putting them into a pestle and mortar. Place all of the onions straight into the blender jug. You can blend it on nut mode for just 15 seconds or until you get a really nice fine powder. Once that's all done, you can use your Luvele spatula to scrape down the sides of the blender and underneath the blades just to loosen all of that powder up, and then you can put it into your jars. Onion powder does tend to clump over time, so rather than putting it into one big jar, I'm going to split it between 2 smaller spice jars. At this point, you could also go ahead and add things like herbs and spices to make your own spice blends. Things like chili and paprika, garlic powder and salt go really well with onion powder. So that's another great way to use your dehydrator and your Vibe blender at home, and also just a great way to use up extra veg before it goes bad. We hope you enjoyed this video this week. Let us know how you go in the comments below if you have a go at this recipe at home. If you haven't already, hit subscribe to see more of our Luvele Life recipes. Give the video a like if you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you next week for another recipe.